I'm back. Rhodes Rants on Star Wars. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Join the Rhodes Squadron. Let's talk about those juicy Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker photos that dropped. Courtesy of Vanity Fair, who has covered Star Wars forever now. The same photographer has been doing the photos for 40 years, which is pretty wild. But let's break down those photos. And we'll start with the first one, and we'll just keep going. The first one is on Wadi Rum, which is where the desert planet we saw in the teaser trailer. And it's a photo of the cast, crew, J.J. Abrams, and Daisy Ridley as Rey. Now this planet is called Pisana. That's some details that we've got out of some leaks that's come out of there, and various other things that Vanity Fair has a actual interview with the guy that wrote the article, and he revealed some things I'm not entirely sure they wanted out there. The next photo is we finally see the Knights of Ren. And they're all cool. It looks like there's probably 5 of them, maybe 6. J.J. Abrams is standing in the middle. Again, on the planet of Pisana. God damn, these fucking names. Anyway, what's odd is they've got blasters. They got crude-looking weapons. I guess the Knights of Ren aren't necessarily Force users. I thought they were members of Luke's the people he was training, the Padawans he was training that went with Kylo. But I guess I'm wrong. I guess the Knights of Ren are a separate group, or maybe they've chosen to not pursue the Force. Kind of odd. Kind of an odd deal. Or maybe we just interpreted that when it said that Kylo killed the Force users and took some of them with him, we just assumed that was the Knights of Ren, and maybe it wasn't. So there it is. Next we have Zori. And Zori is... we will end up seeing her in a location called the Thieves' Quarter. And her last name is Bliss. Zori Bliss. Sounds like a stripper name. And that is going to be on another snow planet. Evidently, there's only like three kinds of planets in the Star Wars universe. Forest, snow, sand. Of course, that's a joke, but you get my point. The planet is called Kaijimi. That's right. Kaijimi is going to be the planet's name, and that is where we see Zora's character. Pretty cool outfit. This is Kerry Russell. I've got the gold circa the Rocketeer helmet on. I've got to be completely clear with you. I don't love the look of the helmet. It's sort of generic looking, and it sort of looks like something we would see on Earth rather than a Star Wars movie. Listen, I know that's picky. That's being sort of picky. That does kind of bother me. So just for full disclosure, there it is. That does sort of bug me a little bit. The next photo is General Hux and Richard E. Grant as Allegiant General Pride. Some people speculated that this was Hux's father. No, in canon, Hux's father was an Imperial, and he is dead. So this is not his father. It's a First Order officer. One of the interesting things that was revealed in the Vanity Fair interview was that we are going to find out more about the development and the rise of the First Order in this movie, which is odd because, again, you would have thought that would have been something for the first movie or the second movie. Very strange. Unfortunately, I think JJ's going to do a lot of that because he does acknowledge that story needs to be told, and I think he assumed somebody would tell it in the second movie, and we did not get it. So, Rian Johnson. And they're both in black. They're on a ship. Richard E. Grant, we kind of assumed he was going to be a bad guy, so he is. We are back on Wadi Rum. For the next photo, we see Finn, we see 3PO, we see Chewbacca, the camera crew, Daisy Ridley. Sadly, that's sort of the order that... Look at all the characters I just noticed, and Rey was the last one I noticed. That's kind of telling of the whole sequel trilogy at this point, I think. Next is 3PO. He is getting makeup applied or some kind of special effect. Evidently, he will be saying a phrase, common emblem, in this movie. And he says it several times. I don't know if that is the great MacGuffin we have heard about. But evidently there is a pretty big, the Vanity Fair interviewer said there is a pretty big arc built around C-3PO in this movie. Common emblem. Remember that. You may see it in The Rise of Skywalker. And we have BB-8. BB-8 being BB-8. Next we have Jannah and Finn riding those horses that we saw from the set leaks. And the it looks like the effects have been done on the horses. Can I say that one of the things that's bothered me about the sequel trilogy is how many things resemble things from Earth? And you know, the original trilogy and even the prequels did a good job of sort of keeping the alien species. You know, while it's cool to see new alien species, we haven't seen many familiar ones, and that's bugged me throughout this sequel trilogy. Finn's got his pseudo Han Solo gear on with the vest and the Corellian pilot pants, it looks like. And Jannah is in some generic outfit with some capris and a damn bow and arrow in Star Wars. I'm going to be interested to see how that fires. The next scene is Rey and Kylo fighting. There's water all around, and judging by the look of this picture, and for the record, this is a visually stunning shot. I can't find any true fault with this shot. This movie is going to be visually awesome. Somebody pointed out that there is a chance that we are not seeing what they're fighting right now, that they are actually not fighting each other, but there is something in between them. And it will be added via special effect later. Do not quote me on that. That is just one of the speculations out there after seeing the photo. Could it be Palpatine? We don't know. I do believe this is where the Death Star is. And this is on the remnants of that Death Star that's sticking out of the water. It's an awesome shot with the water and the glowing lightsabers. JJ will bring it from a visual standpoint. The next scene is Chewbacca and BB-8 and Daisy Ridley, Rey, on what's going to end up being one of those skiff vehicles. And, of course, it's actually a dune buggy, but that's also on Wadi Rum. The next scene is My Star Wars. Lando, Billy D. Williams, is back. He looks like he may have the cape from... Well, he's wearing the outfit from Solo that I guess he's had all these years. Or he went and got an updated size. Although it looks like it could still fit. It may be the same one. It looks a tad bit too small. Chewbacca, Oscar Isaac is Poe Dameron. Ronnie James Dio, the megaphone droid. And BB-8 in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. I do love this shot. This is, like I said, this is my kind of Star Wars. This is one of the things I am looking forward to seeing in this movie. Next, we have a scene of aliens back on Wadi Rum. Again, I'm not a big fan of the look of the aliens in the sequel trilogy. I know there's got to be some new ones, and once the camera's rolling and they put in effects, these guys may show up and look great. I'd like to see some familiar aliens, frankly. Next, we have John Williams working on the score with a shot of Princess Leia from The Force Awakens. And then finally, we have the money shot. We have the picture of Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. At his side is R2-D2. And there is no Force Ghost hue around this. Now, we don't know that this is a finished shot, but I assume it would be. And we don't know what to make of this. There's a lot of speculation around this shot. Could it be a flashback? Well, I guess it could, but he looks like he did out of The Last Jedi from a visual standpoint. So, is Luke alive? I somehow doubt it, but it does at least raise the question. Now, one of the things that the interviewer said, we are going to learn a much deeper connection between Rey and Kylo Ren. I don't know what that means. He seemed to suggest that they are going to end up being related. Also, whoever was interviewing him blatantly asked, does any of the main characters die in this movie? And he said yes. But that's as much as he would talk about. So, you can take that for what it's worth. I don't know who that's going to end up being. So there you have it. Vanity Fair's picture spread that they always do when a Star Wars saga film is coming. And we get some clues and some insight on some who's, what's, where's. And the interview, like I said, go check it out. It's with the somebody interviews the guy that literally spent the time on the set with JJ and the crew. And he learned a lot from talking to people on the set about the film. Things that he quote-unquote said they let slip. So it's a good watch. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Join the Road Squadron. Peace. I'm out. Till next